Well, all right. So this morning we're going to talk about how to put together an outreach and community engagement plan. So I know I recently shared with you the importance of being grant ready and the things that you're supposed to do as you're getting grant ready. So I want to make sure I give you the tips on how to put together an outreach and community engagement plan for your nonprofit. To be clear, this is something I help my clients with as well. But if you are a growing nonprofit and you need to work on this before you come my way to help you with fundraising strategy, definitely take advantage of this class here on how to put this together, an outreach and community engagement plan, because it's going to help support the work that you're doing so you can be grant ready, so you can be ready to solicit funding and solicit support for your nonprofit organization. So if you're here, definitely I want this class to go out to more people on Facebook. So go ahead and like this live and comment #live, because then if you don't know the algorithm, that's how it works. The more people see it, comment, it'll send it to more feeds, because then I don't know about you, you see the same people on your feed all the time. There's a reason. So go ahead and comment, let me know you're here. Now, I'm going to talk about why outreach and community engagement matter for a nonprofit organization. Now, let's say if your nonprofit is not actively reaching out and engaging with your community, what's happening is you're missing out on one of the most powerful ways to build trust and make a lasting impact with your nonprofit organization. Because when you have an outreach strategy and a community engagement strategy, what it does for your nonprofit is it enables you to increase like volunteer participation and also donations. So it's very important that you are active in the community and building trust and engaging with people in the community, not just asking them, soliciting for donations and support, but really engaging with them, getting to know people in your community. Like I've worked with nonprofits where people after a while, because they had an outreach plan where they're like, oh, we've seen you before. This is what you do. So you want people to trust you and trust the information you're giving them because they see you often. You know, research even shows that nonprofits with active community engagement efforts, they really experience a 30% increase in donations, right? And a 25% increase in volunteer participation, because people trust them and recognize their nonprofits. So it is in your nonprofit's best interest to really have an outreach and community engagement plan. Because then, let's be honest, even the city of Sacramento has an office dedicated to community engagement because they understand the importance of engaging with the community to foster trust. So your nonprofit is no different, because your nonprofit needs to be able to be a trusted messenger if there is a local government initiative to support people in the community. If you're not a trusted messenger, they're not going to trust you. They're not going to hand over this project to you. So it really is in your nonprofit's best interest to actually create an outreach and engagement, community engagement plan. So I'm going to go ahead and talk a little bit more about what that is, how you can create strong relationships, trust, recognition with your community to ensure that you have increased support. So like I said, definitely let me know you're here, #live. If you're watching the replay, #replay, because then this is going to be a quick class, because as soon as I'm done, I'm going to make sure these kids are ready. Okay. So let's talk about the cost of neglecting community engagement, right? So the Harvard Business Review, one thing they stated is that 70% of people report that they're more likely to support an organization that they feel connected to. Okay, there are some nonprofits that lack this engagement plan and this engagement aspect. They are often seen as disconnected with their community, which reduces potential donorship and volunteer interest. Because there's another nonprofit I work with, like one of the leaders reached out, they're like, Stacy, people are emailing, they want to volunteer. we don't have a volunteer program. What do we do? Because they saw it as this event. Like, what do we do? So that's what I'm saying. Like, you have to have an outreach and community engagement plan, especially if you're looking for people to support you in ways of monetary support or volunteer support. Okay, so like whatever the structure of your nonprofit organization is, you really need to start thinking about your outreach plan and community engagement plan, and not just, oh my God, how am I going to write this grant? How am I going to write this sponsorship letter? You need to do a few things concurrently to ensure that you are going in the direction of growth. It can't just be one where you're keeping yourself busy with activities that really cannot be supported. Like writing for grants and sponsorship is great, but it makes more sense if you have community support and you can showcase that you are in the community and the community knows you. And also, you know how they say if you didn't take a picture, it didn't happen? Take pictures, have like a release form for people that take pictures with your nonprofit at community events, at outreach events. Post it on social media, post it on your website. Hey, and tell a story. We were able to have a conversation with XYZ, but make sure you get a release form, okay? Make sure you get a release form if you put any pictures up. If you don't, you can not put a picture and not put their names, but like paraphrase what happened and explain the story and the scenario here, but do not provide any identifying information. I want to be clear, you know, my background in public health and in the health industry, please do not provide any identifying information. If you're telling a story, don't tell where the person lived and stuff like that. Don't tell like specifics of the situation if the person did not sign a release form. Okay, and also, um, it happens to have low event turnout or donor retention. That is something that I've experienced in my work with some of the nonprofits I've worked with because they had lack of community visibility and trust. A lot of people did not trust them, or they didn't foster a relationship with the people that they wanted to reach out to. So they didn't become a trusted messenger. I'm going to define what that means and why it's important. So there's a new term that you may see on some of the city or state grants. It's called trusted messenger. And that is an organization or individual that the community recognizes as reliable, credible, and align with their values. So you want to make sure that your organization, your nonprofit organization, is embedded in the community and becomes a trusted messenger, because trusted messengers have earned that status through consistent and transparent engagement and responsive to, right? So they're continuously engaging with their community to ensure that the community understands that they're there for them. Okay, so that's why I want you to put yourself in a position where you become a trusted messenger, because a lot of local governments have projects and grants and contracts that are available for trusted messengers, because like I shared yesterday, the governments are realizing that the communities that we are serving do not trust the government anymore. So they are giving the work to help these individuals to trusted messengers to organizations like yours. So when your nonprofit is viewed as a trusted messenger, what it does for you is people are more likely to support your programs, spread the word, and contribute resources to your organization. And not only that, it also helps your nonprofit go to rooms with local government entities to secure contracts or grants, right? Now, like for data, I like providing some data for this where you can see what direction this is going to. Like Johns Hopkins Bloomberg School of Public Health, they had a study that indicated that trusted messengers increase message receptivity by up to 50%. So when the message is coming from someone or an organization that the community members trust, they hear it better and they receive it better. So my question for you is your nonprofit, do you think your nonprofit is viewed as a trusted messenger in your community? And now, if not, Do you have a structured engagement plan that can help you get there? Because that's what I want you to start thinking about. So you can go in the direction of being considered the trusted messenger as a nonprofit organization, not just an organization that's always on the go, like, oh my God, I'm putting this event together. Okay, this event for what? This event for whom? The same people that you're serving. Like, build a community, just like businesses and entrepreneurs have to build community. Nonprofit organizations, like especially the community-based ones, I really am like, I implore you, start building a community and start garnering trust from your community, because that makes a huge difference. Now, I said we will talk about how to create an effective outreach and engagement plan. So if you have pen and paper, get that out, because then I'm gonna go soon, because I hear the 2-year-old hollering mommy right now. So the first step in creating an outreach and community engagement plan is basically to identify your audience, okay? Define the community segments that you want to engage with. Will it be local residents? What who are these people? Is it like the Black and brown community? Is it the Asian community? Like, what community do you want to target in your plan, right? Is it small businesses? So what kind of businesses? Is it the salons? Is it the barbershops? What kind of small businesses will you be targeting in your plan? Or will it be other nonprofits? Okay, so you have to identify the audience that you will be addressing in your plan, right? And you have to set clear goals and objectives. Now, an example of a goal would be to increase event participation by 20%, or maybe gather 500 new email subscribers by Q2, or increase social media engagement by 50%. Now, those are your goals, so you have to set objectives of how you're going to reach that. So attend maybe 3 events per month and gather 30 emails per event. So whatever the math is, like, figure out what you need to do every month to get to your goal. Event participation by 20%. How are you going to do that? Are you going to knock on 200 doors per week, or what are you going to do to increase event participation? Are you going to ask like other known organizations to collaborate with you so they can also spread the message and increase event participation? And how are you going to increase social media engagement? Are you going to be posting more? Are you going to be engaging? Are you going to go live to share what you're doing with people on social media? Those are all things that you have to think about this particular element here. Now, the next thing would be to develop key messages and channels for your organization within your plan, okay? So you have to start tailoring your outreach messages so they can address the community needs. So think about what you need to say for it to stand out to community members, and you're going to use a mix of channels here. When I say channels, I'm talking about, are you using Facebook? Are you using Instagram? Are you using email? Are you going to do it in person through your partnerships? Because then if you have partners, asking them to disseminate the message and send it out. So these are all ways that you can send the message out, but just identify which of these channels you're going to use. And then the last thing would be being consistent in your communication. Ensure that you are touching base with your community regularly so they don't feel like you're just wishy-washy, okay? So it's not just around fundraising events that they hear from you when you need money, because then I said I said that in a post. Like, some nonprofits, you only hear from them, or you only see posts from them when they need money. Like, donate here. No, that shouldn't be the only time they hear from you. They should be hearing from you so they can build familiarity with you as well and understand that your nonprofit is reliable. Okay, so making the excuse that you're too busy, you can't do that, that's not going to work. Okay, how are you going to ensure that they are seeing you on a regular basis and know that they can rely on you? And also, Um, yeah. So in terms of elements, these are the four things. I think four things that I mentioned. Your audience, figure that out. Develop key messages and determine which channels you're going to send the message in. Your goals and objectives. I missed that. That was two. And then consistency in communication. So make sure you're communicating consistently so they know that you're reliable and they become familiar with you. So these are the four elements that you need to make sure you have down pat when creating your outreach and community engagement plan. Now, once you have your plan, it's also important that you're recording metrics, right? You're collecting and tracking different metrics. And the metrics you can track include email subscribers, right? So create a form, whatever it is, or print out or a Google form. I think I posted a video on this, but and it should be on my YouTube channel. So if you're not on my YouTube, go ahead and go on there. Track new email signups. That's the primary indicator of community interest and community engagement, right? That they're giving you their email address. And event attendance and engagement. So if you have events, like calculate the turnout at these events, including the online events. If you're doing some type of online live workshop, for people in your community, record how many people registered, how many people showed up, and things like that, participation rates, and things like that. And the other metrics you can track include social media metrics. Okay, so social media metrics look at the growth in followers, the growth in engagement, so likes, comments, and shares, and the messages your nonprofit receives. The next metric could be community survey results. So if you're going around in the community talking to people and you just have a short survey, like track those results. Collect feedback from community members to see what their needs are, their perceptions about a certain issue that you have, and areas of improvement they would like to see. Because oftentimes people go with a bias thinking they know what people need. Ask them. You need to ask them. Because it doesn't make sense that you go into these communities thinking, oh, they need this. They didn't tell you they need that. Figure out what they need. Okay. And the other metric that you can track is retention rate when it comes to volunteers and donors. How many times the same person is volunteering and how many times the same donor is donating, right? So look at the retention rate. These are all metrics that you can track to ensure that there is growth and you figure out what areas you need to improve in. Now, you already know email addresses for engagement is important because then you can send them email to keep them informed. You can send them their impact report. You can also have you have the potential to get 44 times return on investment on email campaigns, but you need email addresses. So collect emails and encourage viewers or readers to prioritize the email collection at, or tell your staff, collect those emails. Okay, because then create tracking a way to track and collect emails. And your outreach plan and engagement plan. The goal here is to build trust and recognition through consistent outreach. Okay, that is the goal. So you'll have trust building actions, be transparent in whatever you do, listen to your community and respond to their concerns to the best of your ability. If you tell them you're going to follow up, do it because you need to build a relationship. And engagement is also a two-way street. I need you to remember that. And it's as much about listening than it is about sharing. As much as you want to talk about your nonprofit, listen to your community members and respond accordingly. If you don't know how to communicate with people, go read a book. Go read a book about effective communication because that's one thing that you need. Communication and outreach. And the outcome for this, you need to be able to you need to have consistent and meaningful outreach, like regardless of what you think, because your nonprofit is not just an entity that's requesting funds or support. It's meant to create lasting impact. So it's important that you have an outreach plan, that you are engaging with the community. Okay, so I want you to start creating your plan. The key steps start outlining them. Start thinking about ways that you can define your audience, choose outreach channels, set your initial goals and objectives, and begin tracking these engagement metrics. Because like data-driven adjustments are going to be very important, and you need to start doing this based on your interactions with your community, figuring out what they need. Because if you are working solely on your bias and what people need based on your own experiences, it's going to cause your nonprofit to not be able to make adjustments that fit the current narrative in your locality, in your community. All right. So I did this in 20 minutes. I thought I was gonna ramble a little bit longer. I want to talk more about this. What time is it? 6:52. I gotta get them kids out of here in 30 minutes, get them to school and go to my event. So yeah, I want you to take the next steps to become a trusted messenger. I'm gonna encourage you, go check my Stan store out and figure out if you need anything on there, or if you need to talk to me, my DMs are open. Reach out to me so we can talk a little bit more about what your nonprofit needs, and then maybe I can help you with different resources that I have, direct you to one of my YouTube videos or one of my lives where I talk about certain issues. Because community engagement isn't a one-time effort. So just because you did it one day doesn't mean that's enough. It needs to be continuous. So make a plan for how you're going to outreach and engage with your community a little bit more so you can become a trusted messenger. So again, if you are live, hashtag live and drop any of your questions. If you're watching the replay, hashtag replay, and also drop your questions, because it's very important to me that I get to engage with you and give you the most value needed. So with that said, happy Friday, and I hope you have an amazing rest of your day and weekend if we don't talk. If you need me, definitely go in my DMs and then we'll chat a little bit more. Bye, y'all.